Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday. Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. I was playing around with my desk earlier, so hence why I don't know. I'm moving stuff around. Um, I got a fun little standing desk. We'll put it back down in the right spot though. And I probably shouldn't play around with it too much because I did buy it from Amazon. So God only knows how long that motor is going to last. I'm going to bring in my compatriot Mark here real quick.
Compatriot? Yeah.
Compatriot, yeah. We're loading here in Delta Downs.
Literally gate
Uh,
about to pop.
yep. I tailed your A's, so I'm still live.
Yep.
But who do you got here? And it looks like they
I
just
got two, I
opened
got
up
two
here.
six, two six here. Yeah, and I played a little 2-6 over 2 double. Um, don't know if there's two wires here. A big,
10 looks like
but
he's
tens
done it.
tens tens gun in it. The 10 ever made the lead before? Man, that this is okay. That two is the 10 is the maiden breaker last out at a huge price. But if you trust, I mean, if you think the fig makes any sense there, at 10 really doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is Delta. I've seen things happen that don't make sense before. So, like the $216 winner they had earlier on the card.
Oh goodness.
So
Let's
race
see.
three, race four.
Race, yeah,
Yeah,
race
race three.
six.
Sorry, 125.80.
Whew. Well, this 10 is at a huge price.
And my sixes get in first run. I need my six to track down this two.
And it looks like, I mean,
The six gets there. This all of a sudden gets saucy.
yeah, but I think that nine's too far back. He's making up some ground, but two shortening up a little bit. Oh, wait, maybe that
Yeah, this horse,
nine's
this nine. Yeah,
dangerous.
your nine's rolling. You like the nine here?
No, but
Okay,
looks like a
good.
two's going to be too good.
Two's gone. Getting a little
As
short
he,
late, but he was far enough ahead that didn't really matter.
yeah. So go ahead and little pen click there. Little circle for you. But
I mean, it's Delta, man. It's Delta. You gotta love Delta, right?
I mean, I know you love Delta, but
It's a fun little track.
yeah, yeah. We kind of were just we're talking through stuff, and Caleb is out of town this week. He's going back home. He's gonna be home for a couple weeks. He says he's probably 50-50 for next week. I'll be in Vegas, so we might be off the next 2 weeks here coming up. But we'll
It's been a
figure it
long
out.
year. A little time off isn't a bad thing, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So this is a slow time of year as well. I mean, it's funny. I actually looked at my notes. November is actually one of my most profitable months, but it's also a month where it's probably my lightest overall volume. So I don't know if the two are necessarily correlated, but it's a slow time of year.
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, if you've been paying attention, we had 2 streams last week, which was fun. Thank you guys so much. I know I wasn't able to make Thursday due to technical difficulties, but thank you guys for coming in and giving us some of the best numbers we've had all year. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I was I had a heck of a week last week. If you haven't listened to Drinking Champagne yet, I kind of talked a little bit about it, but long story short, took car into the shop, found out I needed a new car, bought new car, drove to Kentucky, got caught in 3 hours of traffic. So just buying a car is just a miserable experience. But add on the Kentucky traffic, just trying to get to Breeders' Cup, come hell or high water. It was just, yeah, man, it was a trip. But I had a good time. It's funny. We did a little bit of talking about lessons learned from Breeders' Cup, and the first thing I said was that Keeneland shouldn't have another Breeders' Cup, mostly just because of the size. But I've kind of reflected on it a little bit, and maybe I was a little too harsh on Keeneland. Mark, have you ever been to Keeneland?
I've never been to Keeneland when racing was going on. I drove in once when I was flying out of the airport, so I went and kind of tooled around, and it was I think middle of summer. They were off, but I've seen the facilities.
Yeah, it was just it was tough. Saturday, we tried to meet up with people. I was texting Matt and trying to meet up with him and Sarah, and we like literally just couldn't find each other because it was just tough to move. I'm not like a huge fan of real like heavy crowds like that. But I talked with Caleb, and man, Caleb had just a great time. So maybe it was just me being sour. Maybe I was just being a little too tough. But yeah, I had a great time. Like nonetheless, it was just kind of like for like the premium experience. You paying as much as we did and stuff. Like it fell a little short of my expectations, especially having been to Keeneland and been having a table somewhere in other parts of the track. That it fell a little short, but maybe it's not really Keelan's fault. They're just not built for it. They're not built for the extra 5, 10, 15 grand, however many they had. But
I also
um,
think Keeneland is sort of, just from a track standpoint, Keeneland's sort of an odd track layout, and it's a smaller track than a lot of North Americans. And I think it does make some of the consistently run Breeders' Cup distances a little bit hard. Run up for the dirt mile is, you know, sort of weird. And I know the Philly and Merit Turf, they had to run at 3/8 or something, some sort of weird distance, and that's sort of an odd layout. So there's some funniness as far as the track's concerned. I do think I don't want to get on some sort of crazy Breeders' Cup, whatever, but I do think it's frustrating that we don't get them at more tracks. I think as much as I bash on Churchill, if they can ever get the green stuff to grow there, that track is very wonderfully suited for the Breeders' Cup, just because it's a big track, tons of seating capacity, and also they do have a few other big days a year where I think Keeneland is. I've always been told Keeneland's more like a Saratoga, where it's a track that a little more intimate, a little smaller, whatever. But I mean, Saratoga does 50,000 people on a big day, so you would. I don't think. I think Keeneland is doing 20,000 people on a big day.
yeah, say what you will about like a place like Churchill or maybe even like Santa Anita, but I mean they're built to host those types of events. But Jay already coming in hot saying good evening, gentlemen. You too, Josh. So apparently you're the gentleman here.
Dude, he's never met
Congratulations.
me, clearly, and yeah, that's just no.
And he said, "What did you think of Flightline seeing it in person?" I bet against Flightline very heavily. I needed. I had Epicenter, who ended up injuring himself and is now going to be retired. Um, I had who else did I have? I had Rich Strike, which I'll probably go to my grave betting that horse. Who else did I bet? Did I bet Life is Good? I don't think I bet Life is Good. Did I? I don't think I was that
You had to
dumb.
be live. You were live to stuff in Life is Good Late, because I know it seemed like you had a pretty good day. I wasn't keeping tabs on every wager because I know you weren't posting everything, but it seemed like you did pretty well.
Oh, I did awful. I
Oh,
was
did you?
yeah, I was
Oh,
up. I was up on Friday.
you
I
had
was up
me
about
fooled.
$250. I was up about $250 on Friday. And then on Saturday, I don't think I cashed a ticket. Oh,
Wow.
Taiba Epicenter and Rich Strike is who I had.
Okay.
So funny story about Taiba. I like many of us opened up the optics plot and saw that big old
A big old
square
square. That was a big
right in the
square.
middle of the plot, and I was like, "What?" I listened to a podcast with crap. Who was it? It was one of the Matisse brothers. I forget if it was Duke or Paul. I think it was Paul. It was Paul Matisse. And he's like, "Look, the data is the data. Like sometimes, like people see what they see with their eyes, and they ignore what they see what's on the paper." He's
Yep.
like, and he even brought up the optics plot, and he was betting against Flightline, And then I ran into one of the gentlemen who works for HRN. He's a data scientist. He is like doing like all kinds of modeling. And he's like, look, he's like, all I can tell you guys is the model loves Taiba. Dude, not even kidding you. He said that he called his wife to let her know how much he was betting on Taiba because he needed her to, like, it was such an investment he was putting on Taiba that he needed to check with his wife before he bet this horse. Like, he was like, the most that he's ever bet was on Taiba. And I was just like, dude, I don't know, dude. I fed into the hype, and Taiba did. I mean, well, I don't think it's it's funny. I think I was listening to the Pacecast, Timeform US, and they basically said everyone ran their race. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Rich Strike ran a huge race. He ran a great number. He's like, but like his like a really good race from him, which is probably like a grade 2, maybe low grade 1 race, is still 15,
Well,
20 points slower than Flightline.
he's slower than Flightline, but I think if you look at the retirements this year, going into next year, he's going to be your arguably best older horse, right?
Yep.
That division's lacking. So I mean, I think we're probably I think we may be a little quick. Honestly, in his whatever the grade one he ran in at Churchill, that was a very nice race. Just there happens to be Flightline out there who's I think Rich Strike is a legitimate G1 horse. I think it just happens to be you had the best horse I've arguably ever seen who just is that much better than everybody else, and he makes everybody else look pedestrian.
Yeah, I mean, it was just incredible what he did. Like you saw those, like honestly, it wasn't the best race I saw all weekend. The best race I saw all weekend was clearly
Distaff.
the distaff. That was just an awesome race.
Yeah.
That's like, and one of the points I made in Drinking Champagne was, I think the distaff is probably going forward going to
Yep.
be the more exciting race. Just because I think you're going to get those types of finishes, and those older horses keep running. I had everything I had going through that day. Going through, it was funny. I
So
told
you
Caleb
caponed
last
all your
week.
wagers.
Oh,
You
dude. So
caponed it.
I told Caleb, I'm like, all of my money on Saturday is going through Malathat. Every single penny I have is going through Malathat. And Caleb goes, well, what about Clairiere? And that just fucked my entire thing. Like, dude, like he mind fucked me, right? If you, he just
Dude.
completely mind
Okay.
fucked me.
So wait, how much did his mind fuck cost you? Because I can
I
tell
mean,
you
it didn't cost
exactly
me
how
anything
much
because
this
I still,
cost me.
like I said, what screwed me there is then, I went from, and I can tell you right now, I had a humongous double going from Malathat and Clairiere. It should have just been Malathat, but I got talked into having basically going 50-50 Malathat Clairiere. Into the BC turf, I had everything going through Nation's Pride. I think I forgot how big of a double. I might have had $100-$200 double going to Nation's Pride. And that was another one.
I
That was
do.
another one that I, I talked myself out. Like, it really that I know we like joke about Josh handicapping and me like sitting there and like handicapping like 5 minutes to
Do
post,
we really joke
right?
about it though?
I mean it's serious, right? Like that's happened before. But the thing is that I think like
Before?
with the
Like,
Breeders' Cup, this happens every year because I give myself way too much time to think about this stuff, and I think I
oh, that's where
overthink
you're
it.
going with this. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and I liked Rebels Romance, but then once again, everyone's like,
Rebels
well,
Romance was my top pick in there. That horse has gone, and it's and I mean, not to cut your story off. If you happen to have watched our Euro preview and you listened to Caleb and I mean you as well, um, I think we had every single winner of a turf race in our top two. Like I think we absolutely nailed it, and then we don't pat ourselves in the back that often because we don't need to. And not that there were any hard ones to come up with, but Yeah, I think we nailed that pretty well. And why were you Nation's Pride over
Dude,
Regal
I
Racing?
totally read way too much into that William Buick thing. I was like,
Oh, okay,
I was totally using at before I thought about it. I was totally using Rebels Romance. I was using Nation's Pride, and I just pulled up the PPs here. And then
okay.
I was going to
So
be
it's just
using Warlike Goddess. And then it turned into I'm just going to use Nation's Pride.
okay,
Um,
okay. So
and
you all thought yourself. That
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, I told
Happens. Yeah.
and you know what, like, at a certain point on Saturday, right? I just like went full YOLO, and then I was like, at a certain point, I was like, all right, well, if I'm live, like if I'm gonna play a big ticket, like, all right, I'm gonna have to use like if I hit on every single race, right, and I lose because I didn't use Flightline, I'm gonna look like Capone, right? So, but at a
Yeah.
certain point, all my tickets were dead, and I was just like, "Fuck it!" Like I'm going full send. Like let's get it all back in one sweep. And then I put the anti Flightline press on even harder. But funny enough, yeah, I was up Friday. I was up about 250. It was an okay day. I handled a lot. So like being up 250, I was happy to get out of there. And funny story, only reason I was up on Friday, we were sitting in the Saddling Paddock Chalet, and we had just an awesome table, right? We had these two other couples sitting with us, huge fans of horse racing. One couple really heavily involved with my racehorse, right? On that side, like they have tons of shares. They go to all the parties and stuff. They're both these couples based out the West Coast. Other couple actually owns horses like the regular way, right? Like the like actually owns full horses, but
Hmm.
runs them in like the fair circuit, runs them out west in the cheaper races, runs them at Turf Paradise, and they go, "We got one running at Turf Paradise. We really like it." And the guy's like sitting there telling us like was running on the fair circuit. Like, dude, I didn't even open PPs. I went, dude. This is the first time an owner tip has ever paid off, and I think I put 50 to win on the horse and had a $20 exacta.
So so this is almost like a Papa Knight one up, right? Like Papa Knight will be sitting at Saratoga and you'll look over at his tablet and he'll have the live stream from Indiana Grand going and he'll be firing Indiana Grand. Well, he's sitting, in an air conditioned right on the paddock, at Saratoga. You were sitting at the freaking Breeders' Cup and you're betting really, Josh?
Yeah, dude,
I mean,
I fired at Turf Paradise. Dude. I had no shame. I had no shame, and I hit because I was probably at that point. I was down. I was probably down like 250, 300 right in the day. Hit that race at Turf Paradise for like $300, and then I hit a $50 win bet on the turf, the BC turf, the juvenile turf on the one horse, dude. It was crazy. I got into the paddock for that race. So I was in the paddock for the
I saw
BC turf.
there are pictures on the Twitter sphere
Yeah, and
from
yeah,
Sarah, I
I
think.
saw Sarah took a
Yeah.
picture of me in or took a video of
Yeah.
me in the paddock.
It was
but
it was it was cute.
we yeah, so I'm in the paddock and I see the one go by and I already forgot the name of the horse. Who was the horse that won?
It was the other Euro.
Yeah,
I was
hold
on the
on, let
wrong
me pull
Euro
that up.
again, which I did a fair bit of
Victoria
that.
Road.
Victoria Road.
And
There we
dude,
go.
look at I don't know shit about confirmation, about what a horse is supposed to fucking look like. Like, I don't know. But dude, I saw that one go by and I was just like, that's a fucking horse. Like, and no, so I go upstairs and the people we are with, who, like I said, they own horses, they're like, did you see that one? I was like, yeah. I was like, dude, that one was crazy. I'm like, I don't know horses. Like, I haven't been around horses, but you look at that one, you're like, that's a fucking horse. Like, holy cow. And so I was just like, all right, like, let's see how. And I had some exactas and stuff, and I think I whiffed on the exactas, but I hit a nice $50 win bet. The price was good. I think it was like what 9-2 or something. So that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
capped off my Friday. Saturday, like I said, was a fucking bloodbath. But I hit the golden hour pick pick 4 on Saturday night in the car driving back from BC, and guess what, boys? That put me back to even for the weekend. So the trip turned out all right. Um, how
So
did I do
Tommy,
the
I'm going to answer
BCBC?
much more quickly and succinctly than Josh did. I was up a little over 2,500 in cash, but I played $1,500 worth of tournaments. I missed the cash on all the tournaments, so net was up about a grand.
But neither
Boom,
of us
easy.
played in the BCBC.
No, neither. I did not. I was in a bunch of horse tourney tourneys. Honestly, I would have been top 10 in two of them before, except for the turf sprint. And I was an idiot because I really liked the filly there. And honestly, whenever I cap something like Breeders' Cup spot plays, I put spot minimums. Both of the two horses I wanted to bet and the ones that I did were shorter than my spot minimums. I should have moved to my third choice, who won the race at 40 something to 1, and I would have cashed in the 2-day horse tourneys, which was like about an $80,000 top prize, and the Saturday BC, which was like a $35,000. I wouldn't have won either one of them, but I would have been top 10, so I would have probably gotten, I don't know, 8 or 10K back.
Steven's saying if that's my first cash in the golden hour. It might be, actually. It might be the first time I cashed, but there was one. Yeah, he said when the one I tailed Caleb. There was one where I just like tailed Caleb like randomly, and it paid. It didn't like it paid like $300 or $400, right? But once again it unstuck me for the weekend. So a big shout out to Caleb for
Okay,
unsticking
so
that
a couple
weekend.
things I'm going to say here. First thing, Tommy saying he lost his shirt on Blue Prize. I don't know if he was betting Blue Prize or if he didn't have Blue Prize in there, but I will say if you were somebody that paid for clocker reports at the Breeders' Cup, you did very well on vertical wagers. Um, None of the workout prices were horses that won, but a number of them ran second, and Blue Prize was one of them. Oh, you bet it? Okay, cool. Yeah. So
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
man.
dude. Everyone, no, dude,
That's a brutal nose. Then that was a real brutal nose.
dude. Like I knew like 10 people on that horse, and like I saw the price still, and it was just incredible, incredible. Like
Yeah.
hold on,
To me,
I gotta find the
she was probably. I had two horses I liked more than her. She was probably my third choice in that race. So I wanted no part of the favorite. I actually was my top choice was the Mott horse, the 8 horse on the outside, who ran about a mile, then decided she was done with that whole racing thing. And the other one was Melthot, because and the reason is all weekend horses that had done well across the Keeneland track were running really well, and Melthot was a horse who had done phenomenally well historically across the track. So and also just because Stephen Fox, the one and only, brought this up, I don't disagree with him about that turf. There were none of the historical turf monsters, but right now globally, we also have a bit of a glut in turf monsters. The Arc winner just retired after an injury, and it seems as though there aren't those you know there just isn't that horse that blows your mind who wins with those massive figures. You had a couple, you had your second place winner out of the Arc in that race. So I think, you know, was it weak in comparison to historically some of the amazing, Breeders' Cup turfs we've had? Yeah, it probably was. Was it, even in the ones in the last, let's say, 5 or 10 years? But was it weak historically to the caliber of monsters we have racing right now in the turf division? No, no, it wasn't. I think that the horses you wanted were there. It's just, I think we talk about this older male division being, having one monster and everybody else being weak. um, I think you sort of the turf has got a similar sort of problem. Yeah, but and I will say, just lost my train of thought. You,
I mean, Steven's just massacring Caleb right now. He says Channel Maker's still around. Some people are still chasing that -3. Good old Channel Maker, that huge fig he ran in the Man of War like 3-4 years ago. Yeah, so I got the shout out keep pounding going here. Yeah, Blue Prize I think would have just absolutely catapulted him in the BCBC. So that was a tough beat for him and a couple other guys playing in the contest. So
I will.
yeah,
One side thing I will say, and I think oftentimes we talk about I don't know, owners ducking races, or we have these conversations about you know, I don't know, either ducking races or running to finish second or those types of things. One thing I will say is mad respect to Life is Good and all the connections there, because they ran the race the only way that they gave themselves a shot to win. They could have run for second. They could have popped the gate, let Flyline go to the front, rate Life is Good so he can get the distance and run for second and go for the check. But they went, we're going to take it to Flightline. We're going to run our race. We're going to go full sendy, and we're going to make him come play. And, I'll tell you what, Arad with that ride there, we gave Arad a lot of crap, I think rightfully so, but he played every single game. He tried to do everything he could to give his horse a shot to win. He tried to sucker Flightline to come inside so he could pinch him the end of the backstretch. He, played, kind of all of those cat and mouse games that he could. He didn't have the horse and he knew it, but mad respect for those connections for doing the best that they, doing the best they could in what they had. Yeah, and I agreed, Stephen. If he did run in the sprint or the mile, he wins both of those divisions. Probably wins. He wins the mile quite easily because I think that's one of the softest Breeders' Cup miles I think I've ever seen. No, not taking anything away from the winner. It's a wonderful story. It's all the things you want. It's great for the headlines and everything. But that was a really soft race. But I don't know if does he win the sprint. Probably he's got that kind of speed. But I mean, the thing is for him, from they were hoping that they could get a mile and a quarter and you beat Flightline, it would have been massive for him as a stallion. But I think also, given the owners, I think they, the ownership is on Life is Good is probably a little more. They don't need to say they ran in the Breeders' Cup, in a race, or they don't need to say they won a race. They're going for the big ones, which yeah, I just thought it was cool. I thought it was, when they could have ducked, they didn't. Well, I mean, but the thing with the sprint is, well, first off, I was against Jackie's Warrior in that race, and I realize that everybody loved Jackie's Warrior there, but I just thought Jackie's Warrior. I realize he's done some amazing things and he's put up some huge figures and he's run big races, but kind of, it just always felt like he had never been really tested. I don't know if that's the word. And I don't know. I was against him there. He on paper, with how I handicap, he was not a standout. He was not a horse that jumped off the page at you.
We got 0 minutes to post here, Delta, which means we probably got like 2 to 4 minutes.
2 is my lone A, so you're single to the 2, and then I also use the 4 and the 9 here. And I have a pretty nice double cash into this too, paying $15. So I will take that.
Well, I hope you're right about this too, because I tailed your
Oh,
ad.
yeah. I mean, this 2 here is just getting a ton of class relief. I realize this is a horse out of the DO barn but for a small time barn in Carol Lloyd, but this is back to the appropriate level. I don't even know where GIL. I don't even know what track that is. It's got to be a fair circuit track.
Yeah,
but
it's like Gilbert or something.
Yeah,
in Texas.
That was where the last race was. That two back race at Lone Star should win this pretty easily. And honestly, they were in an N3L allowance, so way tougher in that last at wherever Gil is. So I don't know the track, but it does look like a couple of those have come back to win. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna assume that race was just much better. The class relief here gets it done.
I love how you're saying class relief, and he's coming from a track that she's coming from a track I've never even heard of.
Hold on,
that's always good. It's Gilbert. I think it's like a Texas Fair track or something.
Oh, it's a Texas Fair. Okay, that would make sense given the company. There was some Texas spreads in there. Okay, Gilbert. Okay.
Yep. Russ asking, why did Laurel River scratch in race 5?
I have never heard a reason. I know a lot of people were on that horse. Writer Dave being one of them. I personally was not. I haven't heard a reason. My guess is they're pointing to some other race, because I thought Laurel River in that race just, I don't know. They seemed like she was really out, or it seemed like I think she was really outclassed personally. But what do I know?
Hmm. Ooh, excuse me. I know a lot of
And
people.
I didn't.
I know a lot of
Yeah,
people who
I was gonna say.
were saying that if Laurel River ran, would have won that race easy.
Yeah, Rudder Dave was very high on that horse, and maybe, but and I will say, PDT's Sandy likes the one here at Delta. I didn't know what to do with that horse. That was probably my last. I think that was the last horse I cut. So yeah, I totally get it. It just seems like that horse, he's not getting any class relief here, and it has just a case of the hangs. I mean, the horse, you know, 2 for 20 lifetime, but 9 seconds. So it just seems like a horse that doesn't have the killer instinct. I was kind of maybe a wheel underneath and an exact or a try, but I just didn't see that horse on top.
Hmm.
Hmm. But yeah, honestly, I'll say this year, and I was saying how I did financially, but oh, PDT Sam was a vet scratch for Laurel. Oh, okay. Okay. I had not heard that. I know they were very aggressive in the vet scratches, so okay. I will say though, this year's Breeders' Cup in comparison to the last couple of years, my volume was much smaller. So I don't have those stories of being live to any monsters or whatever. I really just sort of, I don't want to say slow myself down, but I just bet smaller. I didn't see those opportunities that I was getting massive value in any of the races. So yeah. Yeah, I think when you're playing something like this Breeders' Cup, you're getting those big fields. If you're going, oh, geez, the favorite or the second choice is my top selection in a lot of them, and just, you're not getting those prices. So, and yeah, I don't do as well there. That is actually what that wrench does mean. You are, we'll get to wear your big boy pants, PDT. Just stay away from the soy sauce while you're playing mod, okay?
Oh, there it is. That's a soy sauce reference. All right.
I haven't broke one out in a while.
So PDT likes the one. Jay likes the 1, 2, 3, 4 here at Delta. They're loading in the gate here.
Yep, I'm 249. Two is much preferred.
Tommy's got a question for you. He said, if you were in the BCBC, would you slam chalk or slam chalkish horses?
Chalk-ish. I think I actually I really debated buying into BCBC this year. And so I sort of did a bit of a trial run, and I didn't build bankroll sizes around it, but I actually would have done very well in the BCBC this year. Not necessarily, three broke through the gate. Not necessarily slamming just the chalk, as in the short priced, but I was against a lot of I wouldn't say against, but I was on a lot of the second and the third choice horses. I would have had a pretty large ice cold exacta in the finale. Um, yeah, I thought Olympiad was the second best horse in that race. And I also would have had a late double that was pretty slammed there. I had a couple things that came right on Friday as well. So but those weren't necessarily slamming favorites. But again, what I'm firing sort of a 5-2 over a 9-2. Yeah, and Steven saying he's shocked at the win bet. Steven, I almost wonder if that was some semblance of a hedgy win bet, if that makes sense. Ugh, this is 9 gonna middle move me? Well,
Well, the 2 looks, unless the 2 gets a rocket up its ass here,
yeah.
9 is gone.
Well, Josh, if you're tailing my tickets, that you got to find the B that I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna
This is
eat
a
a
B.
B. So this is a B. The old fish and chick by as many as he wanted. Wow. Yeah, I mean it's high percentage first off the claim trainer. Horse ran fine last out at Delta. Um, Horse was right on that A B sort of line. I just I didn't I liked the two. I assumed that the two was going to be on the lead, and they didn't go to the lead. And yep, well, I'm 3 by 3 now. So
What do you got the rest of the way?
2-3-4 over 2-4-5. Josh firing double. I can see it now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Josh, you got like 20 minutes to post. What do you? This is way too early.
I'm actually curious.
Biggest regret of the BC weekend. I regret that I didn't fire bigger, Steven, honestly. Which I never thought I would say. I wish I had 3 strong opinions for, and I shouldn't say strong opinions on horses, strong opinions on race sequences that I liked. I wish that I had fired much larger on those 3. I cashed all 3. Nothing crazy payouts, but it's one of those things. Oh, I had a $20 double, and I wish I had a $200 double, kind of things. So
I shouldn't have bought those $1,500 tickets.
I shouldn't have played the late pick 5, I guess, would be the other sort of regret. Because the thing was, and it's one of those stupid situations. I hated the dirt mile. I absolutely hated that race. And I tried to force a play through it instead of just skipping it and playing something else. And that's always a dumb thing to do.
All right, I'm gonna fire a double here.
What are you firing?
I'm gonna fire 4-5 into 1-4.
Okay.
Oh, that was way too many zeros.
No, more zeros.
Hmm.
You got that $13,000 to spend, though.
Oh, yeah, a lot of that's spent. Although I got a nice little bankroll for Vegas next week. So
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm sitting here. Of course, I was like, oh, I need to take some time off and kind of mentally refresh and that sort of thing, which is I try to do this time of year. But of course, then the Aqueduct pick 6 carried over, and it's going to be rainy tomorrow. So you know what that means.
well, I mean, you know what'll help you clear your head? It's a weekend in Vegas with the boys. So
Yeah, but you're both
just
bringing your
saying.
wives.
I don't think Leah's coming.
Oh, no, that's right. Leah isn't coming, is she?
Yeah,
That's right.
no.
It changed. Yeah, okay.
Uh-oh. As soon as I said that, Clamps message. I wonder if he's watching.
Yeah, that's what I'm a little. I'd be
That was wow. Look
if
at
he's sitting around with
that
a
was
wife
really great
watching.
timing. That's so
That was
funny.
amazingly good timing. Either that or he's tailing me at Delta. One of the two.
Uh-oh. Um let's see, what's something in a few months you think you'll still be patting yourself on the back over this past weekend?
Oh, that's what he's poking me about. Okay. Yeah,
What is
gotcha.
that?
The Rangers are kicking the Red Wings' ass right now.
Oh. No, I mean about Steven.
Oh,
He said I thought you were talking
uh,
about Steven. He said, what's something in a few months you think you'll still be patting yourself on the back over this past weekend?
I think I can give you 2 things: my fade of Jackie's Warrior and my fade of Golden Pal. I think I was very right on both of those calls. I don't know if Golden Pal has developed gait issues, which sometimes horses do when they get older, or I think more likely, I think Golden Pal is just sort of tripped out. Um, and he's a one-dimensional horse. So I think he's just very, very, very exposed. And I just wasn't very high on Jackie's Warrior, going into the race. So, and I don't want to say, I guess fade is the wrong way. Those horses were on tickets, but I think those were 2 horses that a lot of people singled and everything, or a lot of people used aggressively. I think looking at those races, finding favorites I thought were suspect, and not getting too aggressive to them is something that I kind of pat myself on the back for. My Red Wings are getting their ass kicked by goddamn Gary's. Yeah, they were clearly they were defensive A's actually, so
All
not
right.
necessarily defensive B's. The defensive A.
So another thing we had to do tonight is I had to make up for Mark's lack of ability to Google a random name
Multitask.
picker.
Yeah, I can't multitask.
So we got a much smaller crowd today. So for your devoted people, it's going to be a much smaller pool to pull a name from here. So we got Tommy, and I'll tell you the favorite BC story after we got here. We got Tommy, got Steven, PDT, got Jay, got saw Russ in here, Road Warrior, Lloyd, new
Yeah, we
name I
were
hadn't
gonna
seen
do a group.
before.
We were gonna do a group ticket, weren't we? We never did
We
that
were.
either.
We'll have to figure something out for that.
We'll figure. Yeah,
We'll do another one. But I think I got all the chatters. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if Sixer shows up again. Try to get his name in the hat here. So if you guys don't know, last week we did give away. Well, I got to still
yeah.
send it out to Sixer. I'm gonna do all this tonight. But we gave away a hoodie. It's winter time. We'll give away another hoodie tonight. And just picking out names people who've responded in chat as a thank you for the just for tuning in, being able to talk horses with us. So I'll give it another couple of minutes here in case we have any stragglers, any people who are lurking who want to get in here. All you gotta do is comment in chat, and then I'll add you guys to the list. And then I'll get your contact info, and we'll send you a hoodie. I gotta tell Gary. Oh, whoop. Forgot that I'm sharing the entire screen. But all right, I didn't see anybody else. Jay says defensive A drink. We'll go ahead and pick a random name. Russ. So Russ, I saw you you commented earlier. If you have Twitter, you can message me on Twitter at Jerry Drank. Just send me your DM me your address, and I will send you I'll send you a hoodie. Or you can email us at ontherwronglead@gmail.com. And then yeah, we'll get you hooked up. But thank you guys once again for tuning in here. Go ahead and
So PDT, no 4 here in this race at Delta. I mean, I think you're making. Yeah, I respect your 3/5/8, but I think this 4 here should make the lead going 5. You make the lead at 5, you almost always wire. Horses 3 and 9 at Delta. And only has 5 wins on the horse's career. All of them we're going this trip. So this should be your speedball, winner coming right back. I really kind of dig this for at a bit of a price here.
So Tommy's asking for my favorite BC story. So there's a couple really funny things. One, if you missed it, one of my biggest hits of the weekend one of my biggest hits of the weekend was tailing the the owners of a horse at Turf Paradise, and in between BC races, just the entire table going fucking crazy as this horse gets his nose down to win a race at Turf Paradise. I ended up cashing like $250 off of it. Just the dumbest thing in the world. But I mean, that's horse racing. It's just so funny that we're at the Breeders' Cup and we're firing. We were joking that we were going to be sitting there and Papa Knight was going to be firing an aqueduct, but no. In fact, it was Turf Paradise that we were firing at, not aqueduct. Second, like I said, being in the paddock was awesome. That's the first time I've ever been in the paddock in any track. and the fact that I got to do it at Keeneland at the Breeders' Cup was crazy. So that was fun. Third is the fact that probably our most watched video ever was Matthew DeSantis giving a review of the Keeneland bread pudding. Apparently, that's the content people want. People want to hear about the bread pudding. They don't want to hear about the horses. But hanging out with Matthew, like honestly, on Thursday, we mostly hung out with Matthew and Sarah from HRN, and that was just a blast. Dude. They're just so fun to be around.
They're both nice people.
Met up with a bunch of other people up there, and then Saturday we mostly hung out with Caitlin Free and PDT and PDT's friend Chip, who's hilarious. Dude, I love Chip, dude. You know what, PDT? Can you invite Chip to everything, and you don't even have to show up? Like, just bring Chip. Just give Chip the info because Chip's hilarious. He's such a good dude. But honestly, like just meeting all the people. Oh, best story. I forgot this story. So we're trying to meet up with Capone, right? And we're texting him, and I'm like, he comes out, dude, and he's just heated. Like he's in the paddock and he's just heated, dude. He's just like fucking looking around like, oh my God. And so we're like, what happened? Right? Like me, Caleb, Caitlin, we're just sitting like, what happened? And he's like, fucking Brittany or well, not Brittany Urton. Who was it? No, fucking Megan Devine. She's sitting there just taking up all the space, sitting there. I can't get in there. She's like, just because she's pregnant. And, you know, I'm like telling her, like, hey, let me do this. And she's like, you're going to talk to a pregnant lady like that? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to talk to a pregnant lady like that because you suck. And that's why you got fired from TVG. I mean, dude, he was so mad. Dude, I've never seen him that mad. Like, he just walked away. He was like walked away just talking to himself, dude. Like it was just
I have seen him that mad, and it is highly entertaining.
Oh man. But
that is a peak New Yorker and peak Capone right there. Because he's yeah.
It was just funny.
Did he have the hand flail going?
Oh yeah, because he's like, yeah, well, you gonna talk to a pregnant lady like that? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to a pregnant lady like that. Oh man. But no, it like honestly, dude, like that was a thing that really made it worth it, you know. Like, I mean, when I go to Saratoga or like when I go to Kentucky Downs, when we do these group trips, like hey, the track's cool, the track's awesome. We have a lot of fun at the track, right? We bet, we fire. Usually at least somebody hits something. But like really, it's just hanging out with people, just like bullshitting. Yeah, there PDT stormed off with his backpack. Yeah, it was just like, man, I forgot. PDT, like I said, hung out with us most of Saturday, so he got to see a lot of this stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get a picture with Jose Ortiz because we were there for the turf sprint. We were we kind of stood in the paddock for the turf sprint, like the not the saddling paddock, but like the little walking ring that they have real quick before they go out to the track. And Jose Ortiz doesn't have a mount, so he's standing out there. Ricardo's done for the day. Ricardo's in like a suit, like a casual suit with the fucking baby on him. So he's just got like he's got the dad thing, the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Santana is normally when you see Santana and he's not riding, he's like super casual, but he's also super stylish. Like he's like a very snappy dresser. So you always see him like dressed up like he's gonna head out to the club or something. He looks really sharp.
But I was like, man, I should go get a picture with Jose Ortiz and put it up because Jose was just sitting out there, and then I was like, man, it's gonna be tough to get because I got like maybe like a foot and like 3-4 inches on him, so I was like gonna have to like crouch down like this to try and take a selfie with him. So I was like, nah, I think that's all right. But yeah, so we're sitting there and we're watching the race, dude, and Golden Pal doesn't break, and you look over at and Jose's just like, right, and then Irad comes out, and Irad's just furious. I mean, he's furious. He was about as mad as Capone was. I still think Capone
Mhm.
was madder, but Irad was just furious. And so, if you guys have seen the video, right? I think Irad thinks he was held. It looks like he was held. I don't know. The starter looked pissed off because it looked like he fucked up. It was just a bad situation. Unfortunately, Golden Pell didn't break again. That was another horse that I keyed everywhere. So, but ooh, that's a good question. Is Chip cooler than Oving St. Pierre's friend Gus? I don't know. Gus is the man. He's got that faux hawk. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a toss up. Um, Russ is going to be doing he's going to be a karma bet. He's tailing my double here. So
I like your 4 a lot here.
but yeah, no, dude. Like I said, man, Breeders' Cup was fun. It was a blast. Um, I don't know if they have it at Keeneland again. I'm gonna be, busting on the doors to get there. But yeah, I think I'm really really thinking about just starting to plan Santa Anita next year. So
Yeah, I need to eventually get to a Breeders' Cup because I've never actually been to one, and I don't know if Santa Anita's the one I want to go. Honestly, of all the major tracks that are running, Santa Anita's fine, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with Santa Anita
I
as long
gotta
as they, can decide to not muck with the dirt between races and completely throw the bias on its head.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's oh Tommy, look at Tommy. You keep on talking about these Breeders' Cups and Del Mar, and I believe Chase has the condition that you were in during during that event very well chronicled. So I mean, I think
But
you
that's
would
his
like.
normal. That's the normal state of Tommy. That's just
That's true,
that's his way of being.
dude. Tommy, I met Tommy up at Arlington once, and I think in the span of like 6 minutes, he had down 3 Coors Lights.
That's about the normal rate. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
PET talking about doing Derby this year. I actually talked to a friend of mine. She lives in Louisville. Her and her husband have a house in Louisville, and she was basically saying like, "Hey, let's let's come down, um, basically come down through Oaks Day, and then Derby Day. Don't go to the track." And she hosts a party every year. Her and her neighbor host a party. So um, Leo asking is Keeneland a good place for the average Joe? Do you have to be high roller to get a good view? Honestly, dude, I don't think GA was that bad this year, and that was kind of part of the thing too. Like when I was talking on the podcast, drinking champagne. Um, like the tickets I paid for, they're like 1,500. They're $1,500 for 2 days. One day was 700, the other one's 800, and it we probably had a better time. Like the people at our table were awesome. They were so cool, um, and we obviously we wouldn't have met them any other way, but um, the like honestly just like we spent more time out in GA and had a great time. So we didn't have a problem getting beer. Now, like the one advantage we did have is obviously having a table. We had the home base. I could leave my bag and stuff there. They had a buffet, and you can go grab food and stuff. And they brought out snacks. They had dinner and dessert and stuff like that out there. Drinks were not included, so we were paying $14 for Maker's 46. But it is what it is. And $12 for like a 24-ounce beer, which actually isn't that bad.
It's not
Um,
terrible.
but like yeah, we would go out there and we were just pounding beers. But yeah, I definitely think that and look at PDT or PDT's not doing his job. PDT, you see that spam bot? Come on, PDT, you literally have one job. Now I gotta log in over here so I can.
I got it. I got it. And they put some effort into it with multiple accounts. Wow.
You would think that they would put some effort in into like getting people with more viewership.
I mean, seriously, if they're spamming, does that mean we've made it? All with our,
I mean, it basically happens every week now.
it
So,
does. It does. It's like we're a real streamer or something. That's scary.
but no, Leo, for real, like, you could get by with just GA. I think you'll have a great time, especially just during the meet, especially during the week. Like honestly, dude, like I've been there on Thursday and Friday, and it's pretty chill. Saturday usually gets a little packed, but no, yeah, I mean you're fine. Like nothing compares to this Saturday at during Breeders' Cup. So no, and you know what? He says we have to run and get your picnic table. Honestly, Leo, like there are tables available. Like you can sit up like in like the simulcast areas and stuff, and there are free tables you can just grab. So like, and then you can also do like dining. Like the equestrian room is nice, but I think that's like, I think Caleb and I were talking. It's probably like $100. Um, when we go with Caleb's dad, he kind of needs that area. Like he needs to sit down. He needs a chair. So that's why we usually do the table. But yeah. Um, he always wondered. He always wondered why he was the wrench. This guy doesn't YouTube. But no, I think it's a good time. Like honestly, like I've had a great time every time I've gone to Keeneland. I've been there a couple times, sat in different areas, met up with a bunch of people. It's a good time. Um, I prefer Saratoga, but yeah, Keeneland's fun. Lexington's kind of
That's
a weird town. Have you been you've been spent time in Lexington, Mark?
I haven't spent a lot of time there. I've been there for a couple nights, crashed in a hotel room. When old job, we used to have offices that were a little south, and so I'd fly in and out of there, and then go fix stuff. But no, I haven't spent much time in the area. But it's a college town, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's not Louisville. Like Louisville, like I could spend a couple days in Louisville and like eat at different restaurants, like distilleries, do other stuff, and like Lexington's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of. But Keeneland, like I said, Keeneland's beautiful. Oh, there we go. Chip is coming to Saratoga. Let's
oh
go.
man. Oh, and I may have a house hookup place for you guys to stay during Saratoga. We'll talk about that offline. But
Oh,
well, long story short, I have two very good friends. This old house actually just renovated their house. Well, shouldn't say just. They spent over a year doing it, but they are going to B&B one floor of their house. It's a house is gigantic. It's got to be like a 4,000 square foot house, and the second floor is going to be a B&B, and you'll have your own private entrance and everything else. And so I can get preferential on that. So I think it'll be like 3 bedroom, 2 bath. So if you have we had a bunch up for a weekend, I think I can finagle that and make it happen.
nice. All right, looks like they're walking to the gate here. Who do I have here? I got the 4 and the 5, right?
With the 4 and the
They're
5.
both they're both prices.
Let's get this 4. The 4 would be a nice mutual win. No, it's really funny though, and I was laughing. It's one of those things you can do when you're playing. Well, okay, I guess my doubles just were being, or my will pays are being slowed update. I guess the 4 is quite a bit more of a price.
Who do you
This
like better,
one
the
somehow
2 or
blew.
the 3?
I like the price on the 3 better.
So you like the 2 better. I wonder what the exact with the 2 and the 4, 5.
I wish they weren't co-entries, honestly, Josh.
Why you like Give Me a Sound better than Golden Palace?
No, I like Golden Palace a lot. Well, honestly, I mean,
Oh, I
one of
had
the
it, I
horses
had
is
it the
one
other
for
way
10, the
around.
other's one for 11.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what way I would go. Josh, honestly, I probably like the 2 better between the 2 and the 3 just because that 3 doesn't have that one win is over a sloppy track. And I mean that last race was nice across the surface here. But I wonder if that's eh. You got the wombo combo of the 2 who's probably going to go to the front end, and the 2A will be a little more closery, I would imagine. I mean, as closer as you can get in a 5 furlong race, but let's just get this 4. Just the 4, Josh. Would you hedge yourself?
Hmm?
Yeah, actually, Leo, I just stay at my house, and it saves me a fortune. And let's get this 4.
Dude, I stayed at Best Western in Clifton Park. Paid like
Don't do that.
$160 a night. And the first day they didn't have sheets. No, they didn't have pillowcases. They had sheets, but the pillowcases had to get like delivered to me. And then the second night, no, the last night I was leaving, the water just was off. And they had no idea what was wrong.
Clifton Park's a special place.
All right, they're off.
Oh God, make the lead, kid, with this 4. How do you not make the?
It's okay. He's saving his horse.
Sound like 2 up.
Oh, that 5's empty. Oh, looks like you're 2.
Yeah. Three is closing late though, but not gonna get there. It's just one of those things, when that 4 didn't go to the lead, like what'd you expect was gonna happen? I mean, the only time the horse has ever won is when the horse wires and you don't go to the lead. Like you have to make the lead there. You have no other choice. So, pick 5 to 245. See, Josh, what you got to do is get better at picking the leg where I'm going to eat a B.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're
it should have been, yeah, it's the leg that you single in. So Del Mar opening up again this weekend. Del Mar
Where?
opens up on
Never
Friday.
heard of this place.
Saturday, Claiming Crown at Churchill Downs. Mark,
I've also never heard of that track.
Not interested. Two
It's
tracks that
turf.
you do not like.
It's turf ducking season, and I will be turf ducking.
I thought they weren't running on the turf.
They're running the turf today.
Yeah.
So we're calling for like 1.5 inches of rain, starting at about first post tomorrow. So I would imagine they'll be off. I would be shocked if they're on tomorrow. They very well may be off on Saturday as well. But I would imagine they'll be back on by Sunday. They will run on the turf through at least Thanksgiving-ish, unless we have really nasty weather or it gets real cold or something. Yeah, Road Warrior is right. I mean,
you didn't like the Gulfstream alarm?
I like the Gulfstream alarm. I mean,
or is this better?
Yeah,
I know how you feel about Gulfstream, Mark. I know how you feel about Gulfstream. Championship meet, baby.
It's not my least. Gulfstream is not my least favorite track. It's far from my favorite though. So there are places I would less like to play, like Churchill. Churchill's less. Del Mar, that place is terrible. Just
All right, let's play a little this or that then, Mark. We'll play a little game.
this or that. Okay.
Yeah, this or that. All right. All right. Gulfstream Park version. Gulfstream Park or Golden Gate Fields?
Golden Gate.
Okay. Wow. Gulfstream Park or Turf Paradise?
Gulfstream Park.
Gulfstream Park or Tampa Bay Downs?
Oh, Tampa Bay all day.
Gulfstream Park or Monmouth?
Like a regular Monmouth day or
Regular
like
Monmouth day and a
Gulfstream Park.
regular Gulfstream day too.
Yeah, Gulfstream.
Gulfstream Park or Laurel?
Laurel.
Hold on. After this shit that you pulled, you're gonna say Laurel?
That's true. I did pull some shit, didn't I? I
You
got kicked out of a
definitely pulled some
chat.
shit. You
Well,
didn't get
I
kicked
left the
out. You
chat, but
left. You
I
left
did
of your own
leave. But
volition.
I left during some pretty epic, I don't know, meltdowns were going on. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a draw, right? I guess I play Laurel like 3 days a year.
Oh, Jay, Gulfstream Park or Fawner Park?
Oh, oh man, that's tough. Probably Fawner.
Gulfstream Park or Hawthorne?
Gulfstream.
I will be at Hawthorne on, or not Hawthorne. I'll be at a Hawthorne OTB because they're not having the contest yet back at Hawthorne. But I'll be at one of the OTBs for the tournaments day after Thanksgiving. So,
Well, somehow, Josh, I'm alive to legitimate money.
legitimate money as
Like
opposed to
legitimate
illegitimate money.
Exactly.
What was his pick 5 playing?
542 to the 4, 259 to the 5, and 3289 to the 2. So let's get this 2. Or wait, what was the W played?
I had the 1 and the 4 here, but I'm dead.
Oh, okay. Okay. I get boomed by somebody here.
I mean, that's why we stream every week, is to see who you get boomed by. Yeah, Steven says he can't wait for someone in the chat hit it more times than you.
What stream was that happened? Because that was brutal. I remember what we were playing, but like 3 people in chat tailed me, and they all tailed it for more than I played it for.
Mostly because of the disrespect you've shown the number 1 track in America.
I mean, the one thing I will give Gulfstream is if you're somebody and you say, gee, I really want to learn a circuit, right? Gulfstream runs almost all year round. They run a ton. So you definitely get a lot of racing. And if you're somebody you play like more like a Papo kind of a person, you can get some just great bias plays. You really learn those horses, and it's fine. I do think that the winter Gulfstream is a really fluky place to play. Um, and you do get your Gulfstream fuckery on occasion, but for the most part, it's an okay product. I probably bash it a little more than I should. Oh, Asanobia is by far and away that's no contention. Asanobia is like probably my top 3 tracks to play in the country or in the North America. Let's go North America because it technically isn't in the country. Asanobia is just unfair.
Yeah,
it's easy mode.
Look at Leo. So when I first met Mark, he was very much, hey, I only play Saratoga and a little bit of Belmont. I'm a New York guy. Now, this man fires at Delta Downs, Assiniboia Downs, Los Al quarters, the place pick 8. I mean, you find this the most degenerate. Like, I'm surprised that this man, like the degeneracy this man has now, like it's really like I feel like the last straw, like the last thing that's just like holding on to his sanity is his hatred for Gulfstream. Because if this man was playing Gulfstream, like there'd be nothing left. Like that's it.
Caleb is the one. He has more hate for Gulfstream than I do. Caleb, I mean, I don't love Gulfstream, but it's not the worst thing ever. And I've done okay there on occasion. I've actually had some fairly big scores. I hit up one of the Mando Day pick sixes last year, and that was pretty good. Done well on like Florida Derby Day. Some of those bigger cards. I do fine on. It's all right. But Caleb is the one that just hates Gulfstream. And honestly, also, I like playing FloCal. But FloCal is probably my favorite tournament of the year, and half the races are at Gulfstream. So,
You want to know why Caleb hates Gulfstream? What if I told you that the perfect man did exist, but he was cursed? I mean, he's just a complete handicapper. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. Might be the best I've ever seen. He could be the best looking guy in all of horse racing. I mean, he gives Matt Bernier a run for his money. I mean, we all saw it. He was minding his own business, walking back from the bathroom. Hottest girl in the bar just grabs him and says, "Reel me in." Turns out you can't always be that lucky, though.
Zulu Alpha charges up the rail under Tyler Gaffleon and takes the lead late. Zulu Alpha wins the Pegasus World Cup Turf.
The thing that kills
That's
me
the reason.
about the story where the girl pulls him into a bar is that shit happened again this summer.
This isn't a one-time only thing. This has happened multiple times. We've all literally seen it happen, and it's like, come on, I mean, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I failed rule number 1 and rule number 2 though, so I guess I wouldn't get it.
Well, he did say that it was his fault this time, but he claims it's because he's a friendly drunk. So I don't know what he was doing, but clearly was doing something that he shouldn't have been doing.
Shouldn't have been doing. Okay.
Yeah. But all right. So who you got here again, Mark? Sorry.
245.
245. Yeah, let's get this 4.
No, let's get this 2.
I'll have a little bit of. Oh well, I mean, a 2 would be good for you. It'll help offset the hoodie money that you're gonna spend.
Yeah, it is gonna help offset my hoodie money.
Hey, you're the one who offered. I just took you up on it.
I did. I know. It's gonna cost me a lot of money to do this crap.
Yeah. But if you guys haven't yet, help support us by signing up for AM Wager. That always helps us out. Also, like I said, if you guys haven't seen onthewronglead.com, we got t-shirts, hoodies, and stuff like that. We don't make a ton of money off them. We make a couple bucks off each one, but it does cost us about something like $50-$60 a month to run everything with our software, our hosting, and stuff like that. So any help is always appreciated. But we do this shit for fun. So and if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. I think we're like 10 away from 1,000. So that'll.
I think I just looked. It's 9 away.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it for Breeders' Cup, and like much like our show start times, we're still a little behind.
Yep. But I'm sure we'll hit it up. We'll hit it by sometime this winter. The rate we're going. Going forward. We're like I said, we'll probably be off the next 2 weeks with I'll be in Vegas next week and then Thanksgiving. I'm going to continue try and get Drinking Champagne continuing. So we should still be recording that. So that'll be on YouTube.
And the content there's been really, really good. Like that's been an enjoyable thing to watch. I've you can just listen to it, or I normally throw it on and work on Monday morning, or Monday or Tuesday? Anyways, whenever when it comes out, I'll throw it on in the morning and just kind of listen through it. And it's always interesting. I think you guys have good banter. I really appreciate Andrew's perspective. By the way, if you ever get a chance to meet Andrew Champagne in person, he is the nicest human being you'd ever want to meet. He is a wonderful guy and goes out of his way to promote the sport, to be a friendly, helpful guy. He's just a great human being. So I very much appreciate him and try to support him wherever I can.
Yeah, and Leo says prize for the 1,000. You know what, Mark? I think when we hit 1,000, that's when we'll do the group ticket.
Okay, so group ticket at 1,000.
We'll do the
That
group
works for
ticket
me.
at 1,000.
Yeah.
And what we'll also do is, Clark on day after Thanksgiving at Churchill. I was thinking about going. I was thinking about my wife and I. I mean, we've had, well, not so much my wife's family, but there's been a little bit of family drama on my side. My father passed away. My mom is kind of, just been lonely and stuff. Just the kind of stuff you go through, as you get older and as your parents get older, and it's just like my wife and I are like, what would be good? So we just like go somewhere for Thanksgiving and just forget about everybody else. And so I was thinking, I was like, wow, Louisville, Kentucky. But no, I think we're gonna stick around and hang out with family. But
yeah, I'll say if you are bringing your wife to the track, you need to feed us all of her picks.
Yeah,
because in the Rodriguez household, we know the one who's the best handicapper, and it's not even close. Like,
no, it's not even close.
No, it's not even close. She is yeah. I really want to know what her ROI is, because she's got to have like on the 5 wagers she makes a year, she has to have about a 5,000% ROI.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that like there'll be a time where like there's a horse I know she'd want to bet, like because of the name, and I just like won't reach out to her, or like it just like she won't like answer me in time or something, and the horse will lose every single time. Like when I'm trying to get a hold of her to bet this horse, and the horse will lose. But when I reach her and she's like, "Yeah, bet on it," it wins. Like, I don't know, it's just crazy.
I've done that a couple times with Kath, because I got Kath to get a Naira Bets account so she can wager from her phone, and she leaves like $20 in her account. Occasionally, I'll be like, "You need to bet this," and it's always funny because I'll always give her like a 10 or 12 to 1, and a couple of them have won, and she always has like a $1 win bet on it. You're like, come on. I fired her that 6 today at Aqueduct, and she bet it. Horse wins at 9 to 1. She bet $1 on it. I was like, okay, Kath.
Well, she has $10.
She has $10 now. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think plan for the winter is we're gonna be doing more of this live handicapping stuff. I know like today we're not like super like, well, Mark already has Delta capped, but we're gonna be bringing back bankroll building in Bourbon, where myself, Mark, and Caleb just throw down and try and turn $50 into 1,000 betting Turfway Park. Delta Downs is not going to count.
Come on.
No, absolutely not.
Come on. It was the best like 6-part series we did, and then you finally, I think on the 7th time, let me go to Delta, and then I went 50 to 1,000 in one night. So, which was hilarious when it happened. I think Caleb gave me epic crap because I Dutched my late double to make it happen.
Oh, Steven says if we do it on Saturday afternoon at GP, he's in.
I may be there. You never know. We'll see.
Beware.
Vegas. I can get there last minute. No,
I
will not be at GP. I have been to GP. I sat in the Tiki Lounge and had a tiki cocktail and watched the ponies run by. It was fun.
I am going to try and meet up with Ryan Dickey and go to one of the tiki bars when we're out there.
You mean in Vegas or
in Vegas? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. My wife and I met up with him in March. Or when did we go? I think we went in March, and it was a great time. He's such a cool dude.
I've never met him. We had him on stream once. Seems like a very nice guy on stream. Really cool.
Yeah, I really haven't met anybody who I didn't like.
No, I haven't either. just one of those. You have enough commonality. I mean, there's definitely people I've met who I wouldn't want to spend every day with, but I think everybody's cool and lots of fun to be around, and yeah, you know, you all have that commonality, so you all have something to talk about, which is fun. But I do need to come make an excuse to come to Chicago and go to the aviary though.
Aviary is really cool.
Yeah, how bad is to get in?
You gotta make a reservation couple days, a couple weeks out, I think.
That's not terrible.
I only happen so the way I ended up going is my wife and my wife's friend had reservations to go, and her friends ended up like not being able to come into town, and so she was like, she asked my wife, she's like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And my wife's like, "Yeah, sure." And so my wife's telling me, "Oh yeah, I'm going to some bar, Aviation or something. I don't know, it's somewhere downtown." And I was like, "Aviation?" It's like, "You don't mean the aviary, do you?" She's like, "Oh yeah, that's what it is." I was like, "Do you have an additional spot?" She's like, "You want to go?" I was like, yeah." And it was just one of the coolest experiences ever. Like the cocktails there.
It's like top 3 cocktail bar in the world. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, they
it's
have
incredible.
You need to buy the book. The book is amazing. They have
We
a
did the Jungle Bird there is awesome. I
little
love Jungle Birds though. My wife
Yeah,
cannot
same.
stand the taste of Campari, so that's never goes
Really,
for her.
dude, Campari is one of my favorite spirits. Like, just as a or like those kind of mixer type of things. I love how Campari tastes. So, I'll drink Campari and orange juice. Like, that's one of my favorite things. It's really really good. But no, Aviary is really cool. They have this amazing. I have a copy of it upstairs, but amazing like desktop book, big, thick, and it's like the real heavy paper that's printed. And the colors are beautiful and everything, and it has all their cocktails and like how to make them. And I get a kick out of that sort of gastro styled, deconstructed and sort of new take on an old school cocktail. But their Jungle Bird is amazing. They also do another one that's I almost think it's like a gin and tonic, but they do it it's got like green nodules. I think they do like a minted gin and tonic with the mint in the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, what was it?
Yeah, the Jungle Bird that they have is like the black
Trying to
rum.
find it.
They have in like little like boba balls.
Yeah.
So like as you drink, it comes up and like explodes. It's really cool.
I don't know what that. I can find the picture of it, but
yeah, we're just basically waiting for this Delta Downs race to go off, and then we'll be signing off. But like I said, guys, thanks again. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be off. Like I said, we'll probably be off these next 2 weeks, but then like I said, once Turfway starts back up, we'll definitely be getting back into that bankroll.
Do you know when
Bourbon.
are they after Thanksgiving to start?
That's a good question. Let's look it up right now. Turfway Park. Live racing returns November 30th.
Okay, cool. Is that so? That's okay. Yeah, because Thanksgiving falls early in the month this year, so it's sort of a weird.
6:15 p.m. post time. Are they Central or are they?
They would be Central, because Kentucky's half and half.
Let's see. Is it Florence?
Yeah, Florence, because Florence is way northwest. Well, western.
No, they're Eastern.
What? Is it northeastern?
No, they're Eastern.
Well, maybe
they're
it is Eastern
time.
then. Oh, are they? Okay.
So
I must be thinking of the wrong Kentucky town.
Yeah, we might have to change our stream time. We'll see. We'll have to see when the first first cards come out. But yeah, 20 days away.
Oh, it's just outside Cincy. Oh, I was thinking it was more Louisville area. Oh, okay. My bad.
Oh man. So what you got going? What you going to be doing this weekend, Mark? You gonna try and disc golf at all?
Yeah, I'm running my friend's running shoe store for a few hours Saturday morning, helping train a new employee. Probably try to get around to disc golf in after that. Come home and hopefully I'll have aqueduct capped and maybe degen a little aqueduct, and then probably more of the same on Sunday. Help my friend. I have friends that run a bakery one day a week. I normally help them on Sunday mornings. Yeah, free pastries, man. They're really
Did you ever
good.
send that honey I asked for?
I didn't. I need to send you honey. Okay. How much? Wait, hold on. What? Did I send you this size, the little one?
I think so. Yeah.
Because that's only a half pounder. I'll send you a pound. Because like
Okay.
a half pound's just not a lot of honey.
Yeah. Yeah. Saturday, I actually have tickets to a beer festival.
Oh, nice.
So I am a huge, I was a huge craft beer guy. Gout has kind of slowed that down for me a little bit. I just noticed that whiskey doesn't affect me as much, so I've been drinking more bourbon and whiskey. But I still probably one day a week I'll have a couple beers. But I'm a real big fan of bourbon barrel aged stuff. So Goose Island every year does
Goose
their
Island's
Bourbon County.
heavy. That's a big beer. That's
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
So I have a ticket to it's called Prop Day. Basically, they have their like proprietors. They're like Illinois only release. You get two bottles of that, and I think you get two other of like their expensive bottles. But to take home, but then you get 6 samples there, and they're pretty generous samples. It was funny last time, so they haven't hosted it in person in a while because obviously COVID and everything. But the first time they had it, I went there, and one of my friends was working the event, and I didn't know. And so my friend and I, we drank through our 6 samples, and she's like, "Hey, they gave me these extra sample tokens. Like, do you want them?" So we got hammered, dude. Like, we got hammered because, like, these are like 15-16% alcohol beers.
Yeah.
And they're giving you like 4-ounce pours of it, and like they give you 6 of them, and then like I said, like I think my friend Dan and I got another like 3 or 4. So we were just, we were just hammered.
I think you brought some of that out to Saratoga the first year you came out, and it was one of those things that like I love it. It's so good. Like in all of them, the little subtle flavor and everything else. They're really they're really good.
Not the same thing, Jay. I think you went the other way. You went. Well, I guess I did up the stakes a little bit, but you just kind of turned that to like 11 there, buddy.
11, yeah. No, and you brought them out, and I was like, oh, I was so excited to try them because like it's obviously stuff we don't see out here that much. And then I got there, and I had like half of one, and you're like, oh, because it was hot out. And
yeah, dude, that was not a good plan.
No, not a great plan.
Next year, I'll bring more.
And then this year I stocked up on. I bought like every frilly Vermonter beer. I had tons of Heady Topper and Focal Banger and Sip of Sunshine, all the good stuff. And then somebody decided to get COVID. So
yeah, I'll bring out some more of what was the beer that you like? Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow.
Yeah.
Yep. It's one funny. I used to previous job. We would go out to Wisconsin a bit for because we had one of our corporate offices in Neenah, Wisconsin, and you could get it in like bars and everything there. And I had one. One of the guys was like, oh yeah, it's it's like a regional, and because we went to like this craft beer bar. He's like, oh yeah, you might like it. Try it. And I was like, this is really good. And then I can't get it. So it's it's like people with Yingling. Like I have Yingling's not the best beer ever, but you can only get it in certain places. So.
I went to Madison for work, and I wasn't really so I had to go by myself, and so which is fine.
They're pulling everybody out now.
But I had
Look
to
at the
go.
one flipped in the gate. They're backing everybody out. So
The one flipped in the gate.
I think so.
Mm.
That was the first horse I saw out.
So I went for work, and I went to this little like bar that was like right by my hotel. It was literally in the parking lot of my hotel. And they had a sign that said like $4 every day, all day, every day, pints of spotted cow. And I was like, dude, how does this place stay in business? I was drinking $4 pints of spotted cow. I had a Juicy Lucy, and that was like, it was like $8. And I'm like, dude, this burger would be $15 in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
okay. Then I went to the hotel bar, and I was drinking double Tullamore Dews on the rocks. And I remember, dude, and for happy hour they brought out appetizers. So like I had like cheese sticks, spanakopita, like that kind of stuff. And so like, dude, like I remember, dude, I was down there for like 3 hours, and I had like 3 or 4 double Tullamore Dews. My bill was $12. It's $12. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, how does this place stay in business? Now, part of it, I think, is the fact that I was probably the only person who didn't creep out the bartender, because like there were some characters at that hotel bar.
Oh, yeah.
But like someone would get like really creepy, and like I'd like ask for a beer, and then she'd just come over and just like, or I'll ask for a drink, she'd just come over and talk to me for like 10 minutes. And I was like, oh.
Talked to you for a while, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Just
like, yeah, that guy.
I've had
like,
that.
was
I've had
totally
that happen
creepy.
at bars before. Yep.
But,
Yep.
yeah,
Or
dude,
they're like
I'm-
everybody who's at the
Wisconsin's
bar is
fucking
like super
crazy,
drunk.
dude.
Dude, Wisconsin's an interesting state. I kind of like it and kind of hate it all at the same time.
Oh, I absolutely hate it,
Really?
but I like it a little bit, but I hate it.
Yeah, right. Like there's cool craft beer scene, food scene's actually pretty solid.
Wisconsin's like so. Wisconsin is definitely above Indiana at least, but because there's at least
Both
like some.
quite literally, and
Yeah, but there's actually like some redeeming qualities for Wisconsin, but like Indiana is just.
yeah, Indiana's a cesspool. It's not as bad as Ohio. I mean, Ohio is low as you can go, but Indiana's a close second.
Indiana is just 5 hours of my life I want back when I drive down to Kentucky.
Twice now, both times. Maybe you shouldn't drive through Indiana. Can you do that without going through Indiana?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, I could fly, I guess. It's an hour flight.
I can't.
That's
Is
another,
an
that's
hour
another
flight
thing
there?
about Keeneland that kind of sucks, right? Is you got to fly.
Dude,
into
I can
Lexington.
be in Detroit in an hour. How can you be an hour flight?
Yeah.
Is it really that far? Huh? Yeah, maybe.
Well, this loading process definitely extending our stream here.
Yeah, this is the worst field in the history of horse racing as well. So, is he gonna go to the front with his 2? I thought he might, and he's not. The second guy is rated a speed horse. Like, what do you? Okay, we're gonna let the 4 go.
I thought the 1 and the 4 were going to both go, so this is kind of setting up the way I thought. My only problem is now I need the impossible to happen, which is the 2 speed horses keep on for first and second. Because I bet a 1-2, I would bet a 1-4 exacta, and I bet the 4 to win.
I mean, I'm fine. This 4 would be, this 4 is fine. Obviously, I would much prefer the 2, but I don't see that happening. So.
I need this 1 to just like saw off this 3. And hold on. Hold my family together.
Oh no, this 1. Looks like this 1's re-rallying on the outside. I'm gonna get run down here by this stupid 1, aren't I? Oh, hold on. Hold on.
No.
Yep. I knew it.
I bet that really dumb. Let's see, does it pay off? It does pay off.
Yeah, and that's one of those really frustrating races because the pace dynamics just. I assumed that the 2 was going to go to the lead, the 1 was going to sit behind, and I just didn't trust didn't like the pace dynamics. Had I known that it was going to set up how it did, I might have liked the horse a little more. I mean, the figures fit, made some sense. Just
Well, I had a $6 exacto.
okay.
That
1
paid
over
a
4?
lot better than I thought it would.
Mhm.
It's paying 72 for 2, it looks like.
Yep.
So I got all my dumb money back. Yep.
Meh.
I hate horse racing. See you in 2 weeks. He was cheering home. Well, I mean, Steven was cheering home the 8 at 8-2 to 1. Or no, the 5 at 7 to 5. So
I mean, that's a little pricey for him to bet, honestly.
oh, poor Leo. Leo had the 5 and the 8. He had the 2 chalks there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I mean I literally just landed on the 1 and the 4 in the spot. I was just looking at pace figures, thinking that those are the 2 fastest horses early. At least that's what I was looking at on Brisnet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yep. But on that somber note, Mark, I'm sorry. I'm sorry your ticket
fine.
crashed, and I'm sorry that we're never going to play Delta Downs for our contest. So
Contest
you
ever
can't
again?
Marshallese beat us. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thank you guys for watching. Catch us at wrong_lead. Obviously, Mark is at 2_turns. I'm at Cherry Drank. On thewronglead.com for when we do articles. I'd been posting regularly for a while. I had some stuff come up and I had to stop for a little bit. But thank you guys for hanging out. Russ, make sure you get me your stuff. You guys have a happy Thanksgiving if we don't talk to you, and we'll catch you guys later.